Hey Deckers, Baldur's Gate 3 patch 6 was released recently and it's taken me a little while to get some testing done and get a video of this one. So I am having another look using our previous recommended settings. Around camp it does look a little bit better, but unfortunately as soon as we go into Rivington as part of Act 3 we start to see that performance issue as we did before. Now it does seem a little bit worse, but it is still playable. Now it's going to look not so good during the frames per second, but believe me, on the device it doesn't actually feel as bad and is playable, especially when you go out of the kind of main areas. But when you go into Baldur's Gate, even inside some of the buildings, it does dip down low into the 20s. With the latest Steam patch, GeForce Now is actually running very smooth on the deck once again, so if you are looking to play Baldur's Gate 3 at the full quality, then GeForce Now is still a superb option. And if you want a guide for that, we have a link for that in the description below. There is a cost to GeForce Now, but their free tier is open again if you do want to try it, but you may have to queue, and they do have the monthly available as well. As you can see though, when we are on the deck, when we're inside one of the buildings, inside Baldur's Gate, we do dip down into 20s, even in some of those cutscenes. But if we look at the similar on GeForce Now, even the full ultra settings, which is on the ultimate tier here, we're getting a solid 60 plus frames per second and silky smooth. No input latency anymore on the Steam Deck with GeForce Now, thanks to the latest Steam Deck patch, and it is running much smoother. You can really notice the differences there when they're side by side. But if you do stick with the Steam Deck only version, it is playable. I did play for a good hour to 2 hours running on the Steam Deck OLED, and it is around the 23 watt mark, so you are going to get around 3 hours battery life from the OLED. The LCD is going to struggle and run very hot though, and you're only going to be around the 25 FPS max and around an hour and a half game time. But again, if you can deal with the stutters when you're in some of those sections, then you will be able to play through Act 3. It's not the greatest way to play, to be honest, but no matter what the settings, you're going to have those frames per second dips issues. And if you keep with our recommended settings, at least it's going to look okay. But if you do dial everything to the absolute minimum, you're still going to have those frames per second problems, and it's also going to look blurry and fuzzy as anything. So stick with ultra quality on FSR2 with pretty much everything else on low, and you're going to be able to get through most of Act 3 without major problems. We'll keep an eye on performance as always, and we'll update you if anything changes, and let us know in the comments below if you're going to be diving back in on deck directly or give GeForce Now a try. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.
Hells, I'd heard tales of mind flayers, talons sharp as daggers and tentacles yet more fearsome. But no tale did justice to its ethereal beauty. It floats like a butterfly,